Hi there, I'm Katie from Chords Records. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm starting a new series called Katie's Currents. Midweek videos, just sharing what I've been listening to and what I've been buying. So spins and buys, Katie's Currents, spins and buys. And so without further ado, amazing Chappell Roan. What a incredible meteoric rise for this woman. She obviously, people know by now, she's a singer, songwriter, pop artist, very much a drag aesthetic. She's queer. She's identifies as a lesbian. This album has taken everyone by storm. She was at Coachella. And so this is the rise and fall of a Midwestern princess. So Chappell Roan, if you don't know, started out sort of on YouTube, picked up by Atlantic pre-COVID, dropped by Atlantic very quickly soon after, and then released this debut album last year featuring songs that she's been singing in her bedroom and on YouTube for many years. Fantastic album, self-described as that she's her favourite artist, which has gone viral, and just a brilliant pop album. This particular version is it's a kind of a deluxe one. It came in this die cut cover, and inside it had these really twinkly stars, which fall everywhere. I've kind of isolated them so they remain in the actual album. I got the black vinyl edition. This was obviously a collector's edition with the die cut cover, so I got the black vinyl one. Fantastic album. You have to check her out if you don't know. The next album I want to share is one that I've had in my collection. I've been listening to a lot lately. Tom Adams, Beside the Analog Sea. This was Tom Adams' most recent album, and if you don't know Tom Adams, which you I bet you may not. He's not a famous Tom Adams from the UK. He's a lesser known Tom Adams. He currently lives in Cornwall. He resided in Berlin for a long time, and he hasn't performed live in over a year, so I'm not quite sure what he's doing. He has done a few albums. We've got them all. We're absolutely huge fans. So this was the one from 2023. Absolutely exquisite voice. He has been likened to Jeff Buckley in his kind of falsetto tones, very sparse landscape music, beautiful songs, songwriting. He's a lot of electronic kind of, but very subtle electronic music, very kind of just wafts over you. Absolutely beautiful, and urge you to go to his website. I'll put his website in the description below because it's hard to find. It's not the famous Tom Adams. It's lurking in a corner of the internet, and I want you to be able to check him out and buy from him. And I'll say he's that small an operation that I think he runs his own record. He releases his own records, and when we purchase from him, he sends them to Australia, hand noted, little pictures on the outside of the packaging. Absolutely love him. Tom Adams. Okay, the next one that I've been listening to, and also a recent purchase, this Whitney Houston, I Will Always Love You, or I Wish You Love More from The Bodyguard. So obviously More from The Bodyguard is talking about the Bodyguard soundtrack. And these are alternate mixes, film versions, and some have never been released before. I was really excited to get this album because I don't have the Bodyguard soundtrack, and because it was a reissue, it's a double gatefold, it's absolutely beautiful. I was hoping that the music would sound fantastic, and it doesn't. It's really quite disappointing mastering of the music. Let me just give you an example. I Have Nothing. It's got that punchy big bass, and you want it to really kind of hit you in the guts, and it doesn't. It's really thin. It's back in the kind of sound stage. It's not great. So the songs on here: I Will Always Love You, I Have Nothing, I'm Every Woman, Run to You, Queen of the Night, Jesus Loves Me. So all from the music, and then there are live versions of a lot of those songs on the third and fourth side. So still quite a fun album to have, and I love soundtracks. I've got quite a few of them. So, but very disappointed with the sound quality. The next one is Citizen K on this very glossy album cover. So Citizen K is a hip hop soul artist from Australia. It resides in Canberra, which is our ACT in the capital, and this was released in by Impressed Records this year. Don't know if you can see that it's numbered Obi strip, 1 of 200. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I collect the Impressed Records limited edition run small label out of Australia, doing some really interesting stuff, finding old classics, finding new classics, releasing new artists, but all limited edition run. So they're a small business. So I belong to their club, and you get an album a month as a surprise. You don't know what you're going to get. And it is hit and miss for me because a lot of it's not my taste, but I was just absolutely delighted with this album. Citizen K, cruisy, hip-hoppy, soul music. Really fantastic. Check them out and check this album out. It comes with a little booklet, as most of the Impressed records do, with listening notes. And they usually come numbered with an Obi strip. And then finally, in my Spins and Buys, in my Katie's Currents new series, is this Tom Waits album. I saw it recently on another channel. Someone was listening to it, and I thought, oh, God, I need to dig out my album. I've had this for about 30 or 40 years. This is my original that I bought secondhand from someone. I can't remember. It says condition good, $15.95 on the label. I bought it in New Zealand many, many years ago when I was a teenager. And I cleaned it up. And it's pretty quiet. It's not, super quiet, but it's good enough for me to listen to. Asylum Records. It's the original Australian release, even though it was a New Zealand purchase. And it's such a great album. So pleased to have rediscovered it in my collection and just reacquaint myself with all the songs. Just absolutely brilliant. Actually, I do have one more that I've missed here. Oh, two more. Emmylou Harris, Evangeline. This was, I think, her, I can't quite remember, maybe sixth album, or I think it was sixth or seventh album, released in 1981. Evangeline features Linda Ronstadt, Dolly Parton, a host of others. Really a beautiful, beautiful album, and it's absolute Emmylou Harris at her finest. And a fun fact about this album: it's never ever been released on CD, so you very rarely see that. If you go onto Discogs, not one CD release of this album. So I picked this up for $5 in a kind of a op shop, kind of charity shop. Just a couple of weeks ago. Can't believe you can still pick her up for under $10. It's an absolute travesty. I'm a Emmylou completist, so very happy I didn't have this album. And then finally, this fun album, Dan Fogelberg, The Innocent Age. Now, blue-eyed soul, yacht rocky, folky, Americana-ish kind of. You either love it or hate it. I absolutely love this album, and I can say that with all honesty. I found it in the same charity shop and it was $5 as well. The full kind of gatefold with the original booklet, and I just thought, I know Dan Fogelberg. I don't have any of his albums, so I'll buy this. It was cheap enough, and it was in pretty good nick. And I thought, I don't recognise any of the songs, so put it on the turntable. And I almost cried. Side 2, it starts with Lost in the Sun, which I didn't know. Up until that point, I loved it, but I didn't know any of the songs. And then this song, Run for the Roses, comes on, and then Leader of the Band, and then Same Old Lang Syne. And it was this little kind of triplet of songs, which as soon as I heard them, I knew every word. And it took me back to my childhood bedroom with my record player at the end of my bed. And I must have listened to that album for a year nonstop. I knew every single word. I don't recognize the cover. I don't recognize any of the other songs. I just know those 3 songs off by heart. So that was just a bit of fun. And okay, a few other albums I bought at the same op shop I have put into my kind of recycle bin, which I'll just take to another shop. But this one I'm going to keep. So it's not for everyone. Beautiful musicianship. He's a multi-instrumentalist, if you don't know him. And this album's got, has got, quite a few people. It's actually got Emmylou Harris on it. It's got Don Henley, Glenn Frey, and Joni Mitchell appears on some beautiful vocals on a couple of the songs, and she really stands out. So fantastic, fantastic album from 1981. That's it. So that's the first of my midweek series, Katie's Currents of new spins and buys. I'll see you on the weekend with my next video. Okay, thanks, bye.